The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
The people were filled with expectation, and all were asking in their hearts whether John might be the Christ. John answered them all, saying, I am baptizing you with water, but one mightier than I is coming. I am not worthy to loosen the thongs of his sandals. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. After all the people had been baptized, and Jesus had been baptized and was praying, heaven was opened, and the Holy Spirit descended upon him in bodily form, like a dove. And a voice came from heaven, You are my beloved Son. With you I am well pleased. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. He had worked with his hands for many years. He had run a small business. He had to deal with people that didn't pay their bill, and he had to deal with people who couldn't pay their bill. He has no need to work out on others his own grudges or his need for adulation. As theologian Monica Helwig commented, Jesus points us toward the end of history by acting now as though God reigned and no one else had any power. Today, Jesus accepts and rejoices in his humanity and in his calling from the Father to renew individuals and communities by coming to serve them and to spend himself for them and with them. He wades into the muddy river of the human condition and accepts the baptism of John. He accepts in the name of us all what it means to be fallen and human, to be not God, but a creature who will die, a creature who doesn't have all the answers, a creature who often needs to recalibrate some of his decisions, a creature who needs to be related to others and supported by others. Authors Ernest Kurtz and Catherine Ketchum write of what they call the spirituality of imperfection. They say that it is concerned with what in the human being is irrevocable and immutable, the essential imperfection, the basic and inherent flaws of being human. Errors are part of our truth as human beings. To deny our errors is to deny ourselves, for to be human is to be imperfect, somehow error-prone. To be human is to ask unanswerable questions, but to persist in asking them, to be broken and ache for wholeness, to hurt and try to find a way of healing through the heart. Though sinless, Jesus takes upon himself all of our second thoughts and doubts, all the temptations that come to us from contingency, the questioning of why we exist, if only to die, and why God permits evil. In that very moment, silent heaven speaks the word, You are my beloved Son, on you my favor rests. Jesus now becomes the voice of God in the world, seeking us, serving us, confronting us, forgiving us, healing us. We can all be made new, if you will, born again. We can learn from the past. We can commit ourselves to the future. After his baptism, he will be driven by the Spirit into the desert to struggle with temptations the great liar ever presents to every one of us. Take control. You are powerful. You are great. You deserve to be catered to. Dominate your opposition. Don't be a loser. Those temptations will hound him even till Calvary. If you are the Son of God, come down from that cross. We will soon see the beloved Son denouncing self-serving religiosity, even among his disciples, and reaching out to the alienated and the outcast. We will see him learning from the faith and generosity of Samaritans, women, lepers, the blind, Gentiles, centurions. We will see him call us to baptism, call us to identify with him, call us to embrace life as it is and hand it on as he does. He calls us to follow, not as big shots, not as know-it-alls, but as sisters and brothers of one another, fellow pilgrims. If I just walk with him each day as it comes, over time I integrate my past, my sins forgiven and learned from, heredity, family history, and intellect, sexuality, with all the contradictions and inconsistencies within the deeper identity of beloved daughter, of beloved son. In all my brokenness, I choose to labor with the Lord in passing on his healing, compassion, and mercy. What I have to give is precisely my flawed humanity, how the experience of others has helped me to mitigate my own weaknesses and led me, at least some of the time, to gratitude and generosity. Faults and rough edges in others purify my own commitment and lay bare my own weaknesses. My affection for others grows because, flawed as I am loved. I am constantly being forgiven. It becomes a joy to catch myself in petty acts of self-pity and spontaneous outbursts of frustration, as when driving. Guess what? I am not God. Guess what? I do not control the universe. Guess what? I really need to chill. I become more willing to take risks, to live with ambiguity in myself and others, and not to fear change. I'm constantly recalibrating. May all of our ordinary lives bear witness that there is a God who can be trusted, whose self-revelation is Jesus Christ, that there are values, loyalties, and obligations human beings have that transcend convenience, self-interest, even biological survival. May we live as though God reigned and nobody else had any power.